A North Korean court has sentenced a Canadian pastor to life in prison with hard labor for what it called crimes against the state. As we've reported, before, crimes against the state, Jose, in North Korea can basically mean anything. Yeah. From burning a CD from watching a show to leaving a Bible behind by mistake. If you're a missionary. But his name's Hyeon Soo Lim. He's in his early 60s. He's a pastor at the Light Korean Presbyterian Church in Toronto. And what he was doing was, he had been to North Korea many times. He'd made over 100 trips, 100 missions where he would go and he would help people who were poor, right? We see that all the time. Christian missionaries go to Guatemala. They go all over the world to build houses and stuff. I'd like to think, not solely for the purpose to spread the gospel and the word of Jesus Christ as our Savior, but also to, do good things from the bottom of their heart. And I genuinely believe Hyeon Soo Lim here was doing the same. But apparently, he got a little bit too Jesus-y with a lot of people. And apparently that really pissed off the North Korean government. Crimes against him, harming the dignity of the supreme leadership, trying to use religion to destroy the North Korean system, disseminating negative propaganda. The list goes on of crimes that this man has apparently committed. The worst part to me is they made him go on television and they made him do like a forced confession. They gave a piece of paper to him and he had to read, "The purpose that I traveled about several parts of the country on the pretext of aid was to build a base to overthrow the system of the country." It's much longer, but that's all I'm going to read. I mean, that just gives you an idea. They also said, they made him say that he was trying to create a religious state.
In North Korea.
In North Korea, and overthrow the supreme leadership and spread Jesus.
A pastor from Canada has the power to go into Korea, infiltrate the system, and set up a very complicated religious state to overthrow the supreme leadership. I mean, this guy is paranoid all the way around. Now, what is the sentencing? I mean, that's all we know. He's sentenced to life. To life in prison. Hard labor? Hard labor in a labor camp, which they, are denying are as harsh as they, as they really are. I think it's part of the propaganda that he has internally to, show the control that he has over the people and the system, and that he's taking care of them, and that they need to be vigilant about anyone coming into the country trying to do so, because that's danger. And people buy that stuff. They're so poor and they are so controlled, like you said. Anything that has to do with educating or disseminating materials that bring information to the people is considered a threat to the system. You said controlling. I think that is a huge understatement. I think brainwashing would be the best way to describe that. I mean, we've seen the videos when Kim Jong-un's father died. I mean, people wailing in the streets, like it was their own grandma that died or their own parent or something. I mean, it's amazing, the respect that they have for a man that they don't know. And, we're talking about a regime that is based off a system of, keeping the people closed in, lying to them about the rest of the world, telling them the rest of the world is a shithole compared to the shithole that they are actually living in, and they don't know better. So brainwashed is the real term that I want to use. But, the fact that this man was 60 years old, the fact that he was Korean ethnically, although he is a Canadian citizen, had a lot of people talking, well, maybe they'll let him go. Maybe they won't be so harsh on the guy because he's 60 years old after all. I mean, we saw the release of Kenneth Bay not long ago, just last year, and others who were in prison for different things, but in a similar situation as this man. But they said, no, we're going to make an example of this guy, and we're going to make sure that everyone knows if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. But then they also have the chance to look really good if they just do an early release and say, oh, they're so benevolent, and they're letting this guy go. Regardless of the threat that he imposed to the system. It's really hard to take serious any information coming out of North Korea, especially the one that comes directly from the government.
Right. I mean, I want to believe deep down that this man had nothing but good intentions. He wanted to help good people. I don't care about what, he could have been part of any religion. I'm really not so concerned with that. But apparently the North Koreans see it differently. They saw that as a threat, trying to harm the dignity of their supreme leadership and overthrow the government. I think that in itself is ridiculous, that they believe that this one guy is going on these missionary trips to, overthrow the government and make a religious state. It's just extremely sad. So Hyeon Soo Lim sent to a prison camp and a prison for life just for doing what he thought was the right thing.